Hey, it's Ray, at your service, virtual entertainer and wolf girl extraordinaire. Welcome to Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney Investigations, the collection. How is everyone doing today? Ace Attorney Investigations, the collection. Minimal changes to preserve the original release. Okay. Minimal changes to preserve the original release. Okay. The language. Oh, jeez. Okay. The language. Okay. Sorry, I had not opened this game before, so. There we go. I had not opened this game before, so. By the way, we can hear the audio feedback. Oh, my bad. I don't know how that happened, but also, why are we giant? All right. Well, first of all, welcome in Army and Candace. Good to see you guys. Second of all, as for why you guys are giant, it's because the chat is now transparent. So, I want to make sure you guys are able to see yourselves. Let's try moving you over here, see if that works. Okay. All right. First, let's see. Big Rainiacs mean big light sticks. Sure. Mouse controls. Oh, I see. Ah, there we are. Now it's full screen for me. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. That's right. This game plays entirely different from the first trilogy. Let me see if I can plug in a controller then, real quick. It's not full screen for you guys? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Should be. Kind of plays like a point and click. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I've only played Ace Attorney Investigations, the first game, and only once, like, many years ago. So, it has been a while for me. I actually remember extremely little about this game. So this is gonna be fun to go through. For the There we go. Oh, it doesn't actually. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll just figure this out as we go. It still uses keyboard notation. Reader mode. Autoplay progresses through the dialogue when enabled. Story mode progresses through the game when enabled, including answering questions and presenting evidence. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that. Game text English, voice. We'll keep it. Art style. Oh! Okay, so the Ace Attorney Investigations collection keeps has the option to toggle the art from HD to the classic pixel one. Awesome. We're gonna do the classic pixel art. I know I'm sure that the HD art is probably great, but I know. Soundtrack arranged or original? What's arranged? Oh, what's the difference? The Treasure Island walking meme with the funk. I know exactly what you're talking about. And that reminds me, I did see a video that was I'm gonna link that to you. Since you brought that up, let me just Ace Attorney Funk. Where is it? This one. I'm gonna go ahead and link it to you guys. So this one is called it's the prosecutor walk, and it's Edgeworth, Manfred, and Franziska doing that meme exactly. It's great. All right. Anyway, arrange usually means an orchestral style recording. Okay, we're gonna go original because that's the one I remember. Screen shaking, flashes, vibration, text skip, window transparency. Um, I kind of want to do high transparency. Wait time, 1 second. Oh, that's for when enabled, use to show hide the main text window and controls guide in most locations. Ah, okay. Okay, what does it show? No, it still shows. Okay, cool. Excellent. Okay, so Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney Investigations, Case 1, Turnabout Visitor. All right. Since this is the first episode in a new series, the disclaimer for those who haven't heard it before, those who are new to this, hi, this is a one-woman dub of the entire Ace Attorney series. I, Ray Langley, am dubbing every single character that you see. Um, I will be voicing them based on vibes as well as what characterization I am given, just by character design initially and by character writing, of course, as well as if a character has an objection or other sort of interjection style line, I will be basing the voice on that as well. So, this is going to be imperfect, and it is subject to change. Voices are subject to change. I will try not to change them too much or too often, but if I feel that the character's voice no longer matches, it will change to reflect the new match. Aside from that, please enjoy the show, have fun, and I hope that this is fun for you. All right. Any recurring characters from the original Phoenix Wright trilogy will have their voices restored. Um, Otherwise, all voices that have been previously done in earlier games are re-rolled and are now eligible to be used for new characters. So, with that in mind, let's get started. Episode 1, Turnabout Visitor. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. Question marks. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choices do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry. Maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Ah, we're starting off by showing the killer this time. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been. Always will be. March 14th, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. Oh, there's a history button. What button is that? Oh, sweet. Cool. Excellent. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office. And keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's the smell? It's very familiar. Blood? What the? What's the meaning of this? Freeze. Identify yourself. Shut up. You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. March 14th, 2:56 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Ah! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed! I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Whoa, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. That's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Is it really coincidence that the murder took place in my office? I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you?
No, not really, especially because of this.
The key to your office?
For security reasons, this office door has a lock built into it.
What do you mean, sir?
If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you.
Logic?
By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic.
So how do you use it?
First, I recall the information we've gathered, and then I connect them together. Now, to recall the facts. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir.
There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after?
You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir.
Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we?
Yes, sir.
High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Detective Gumshoe, there's a dead guy in my office. Blood. Hope it's not Gumshoe's blood. Glory, fame, justice, and Yahweh. There are many verdicts, but only one is true. There will be justice, and I will find it. I am Miles Edgeworth, ace investigator. Has anyone bit his finger while he wiggled it? Is high prosecutor different from chief prosecutor? I assume it's sort of like a slight difference. Like there's the high prosecutor and then there's the chief prosecutor. It's like you have your prosecutor manager, and then your prosecutor like supervisor. I don't know.
The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir.
I know that. And when I want to examine something, I simply use my eyes.
If you ever feel lost and want to talk, just talk to me, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir.
Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose.
You called, sir?
Is there anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe?
Just that I rushed over here as soon as I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. Investigation's just gotten started, so I guess there's not much else to say. So, were you the one that found the body, Mr. Edgeworth?
Unfortunately, upon my return I found my office door to be unlocked, and what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair.
Ouch, that's rough.
Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective.
Sorry, sir.
I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe.
Of course, sir. Examine anything and everything. By checking various things out, we can gather all sorts of evidence and information. You can see the evidence we've collected. For information,
For information and leads, I know.
That's it. Great job, sir. Deductive reasonable is the way to go.
It's called deductive reasoning, Detective. Clearly something you lack. Proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. The victim in this case, why was he killed in my office? homicide detective at the local precinct in charge of the initial investigation. One thing you'll notice is that with the Ace Attorney Investigation series being natively on the Nintendo DS, you can see there's not only a clear bump in presentation, but in like overall, like, we're already starting off with much more detail and stuff like that. It's a lot cleaner, not to mention because of the fact that we're playing as Edgeworth now, we've got a lot less pushback. Now, the police, Gumshoe, etc. are all on my side, so nobody's blocking my attempts to do things.
Ouch, they even knocked over your chess set. I had it all set up, ready for when you got back. Figured we could play a few games.
I had no idea you were interested in chess.
I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try.
In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area.
Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir.
In other words, he was shot.
Yep, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that.
Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The body was found at around 2:05 a.m.
Are you gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir?
Of course. This is the safest way I know how to keep track of it all.
Alright, if you say so.
I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. This is going to be this game's version of the court record, since we're not in court this time. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to open my organizer. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Average London experience. He gets back in the country and goes straight to work at 2 in the morning. Classic Edgeworth. What do we have here?
Hey, I think I've seen one of these before.
It's a police badge, detective.
Oh hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coinkydink.
Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you.
Your files are all over the floor, sir.
They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, and I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless.
I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room.
Well, I watered the flowers every day just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about a half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled.
Does he have a life? Edgeworth, he loves you, you fucking...
I don't believe it. I packed those files on these shelves so tight that not even an earthquake could make them fall off, but just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all.
A problem, to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. No, we're not gonna acknowledge the writing? No? Okay.
Yeah, watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir.
That killer is going to pay. This tea set...
Yikes, you're really mad over this.
This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It cost more than your whole month's paycheck.
What? I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks.
It's been a while since I've sat at this desk. Oh, how I've missed you. Hmm? It's so tidy that it looks newer than when I first bought it.
Haha, yeah, that thing's so polished it makes mirrors jealous.
Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was away, Detective.
My job is to protect your office, sir.
And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it.
That's harsh, sir.
I have to admit the desk has never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay.
Oh, it's your trophy, the, Knight of Prosecutors, right?
King of prosecutors, and it's not a trophy, it's a shield. Well,
They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right?
yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself.
That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometime.
Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Is this yet another batch of fresh flowers?
The ones that come with a card attached every month like clockwork for you? Yep. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Wendy.
Oh, Miss Irony, how painful are thy thorns.
Wendy, isn't that the name of that old lady with the whiny voice that stuck?
That's enough, Detective. You need not remind me further. Ugh. How is it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Well, I never. I hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on this sofa.
That thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too? Just for a little while, sir.
Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest.
You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end.
Even once this case is over, I don't think you can afford to take any time off. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes, sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. And yet, there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes.
Talk about a contradiction.
Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here.
I think I've seen one of those before.
Care to enlighten me as to where?
Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model, I think.
Detective?
I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous.
Says the guy who kept trying to show his to Pearl.
But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it.
So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. I think the finger wag as the regular animation is killing me. Old Bag is still stalking him. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other.
You called, sir?
I seem to have picked up a few good leads.
Oh, so now you're gonna do that thing you do with all that information, right?
What are you babbling about?
The brainy thing you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir. Logic. You said that you could look at all your leads and info, and then you pick the ones that seem related and connect them. That's your way of investigating, right, sir?
Yes, which is why this exercise in explaining my own method to me was unnecessary.
Okay, then how about I explain my logic to you next?
That is even more unnecessary.
Your prosecutor's badge is really tiny compared to my police badge. Oh, but, it's really cool, sir. Much, much cooler than my badge could ever be.
There's no need to suck up to me, Detective.
I'm just a lowly detective, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it.
Is that the only talent you have? Oh, wait. Okay, so I can't present profiles in this game. Yet, at least. Okay, so now we have more pieces to put together this time. Let's see. Victim was a detective. Shot with a gun used by detectives. Oh, wait. Is there a save feature? Yes, there is. Good. Perfect. I never like to... Victim was a detective. Revolver. Let's try this. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir, this guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. It can be assumed that this gun is the murder weapon. It was issued to the victim. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver.
As I always say, you gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can rotate it. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Zoom in and out to get at the nitty-gritty.
To think that it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger.
You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. If you take off before it's fired, everyone always ends up following your lead.
To chase you down for a false start, Detective.
Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place.
It looks like only one round was fired from this.
Well, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to Art.
Jim!
Jim! Why, oh why? Oh, how could this have happened to a guy like you? Are you alright? Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be! Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh! Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night.
Sure, just in a bloodstained suit, pal.
Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes, I am. I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office? Yes, that is correct. Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim!
Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay?
I will not! I know how things work around here! High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them, and only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door! That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. The key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Ha 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 ha. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means.
So it was you then! You're Jim's killer!
No way, pal, you've got it all wrong.
Everyone calm down! Mr. Portman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know how to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there!
Sir!
I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. I should probably give them some space. Bro, looks like he's from a different art style. Doomed Yowie versus normal Yowie. Yeah, wasn't that bullet fired at the outfit frame? Actually, I can probably look at that now.
Oh, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor?
Remember this outfit from Case 3-4, Turnabout Beginnings? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing around.
So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared shoot the ultra-special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? Would have been a disaster.
It is not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here.
Huh? Like what?
I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective. There's a giant contradiction right here in front of us.
Really?
Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods, and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should simply point at it and shout with conviction. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Eureka! This bullet hole is the contradiction.
What do you mean, sir?
It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame.
Hey, that's right.
However, this gun was only fired once.
Hey, that's true too.
Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play here?
By the way, I noticed something, sir.
Yes?
What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame?
That. It's a secret safe.
A secret safe? Oh, I smell money.
I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way.
Roger that. Achoo! Achoo! Talk about dusty.
I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while.
I had no idea there was a safe here. I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So when did you put this thing in?
It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one.
Really? I had no idea.
Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence.
So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth?
Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session.
That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams.
That's where he keeps his special edition Steel Samurai porcelain tea set. The Yowie Maldive strip. Secret safe data. Each prosecutor has one in their office. Only they know of them. Trial evidence use. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
I never knew there was a safe hidden back here.
Well, if detectives knew about them, then they wouldn't be secret now, would they?
Are there any other secret hidden things in this room?
Even if there were, it would defeat the purpose of them being hidden if I told you. So don't bother looking for them.
So there's no, like, hidden camera around, right?
And what if there was?
No, it's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Do I even want to ask what he's been doing in my office while I've been away? Now this is odd.
You found something, sir?
This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean?
Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself.
You there, the forensic scientist? Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir.
I couldn't find, let alone lift a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. Mr. Portsman, a word if I may? Jim, I swear, I'll find your killer and bring them to justice! You wait and see. It'll be for the both of us! Now then, you wanted to talk to me about something. No, that's alright. I feel like I'm interrupting their conversation. How is it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. This picture is too important to mess up. I'll leave the man to his art. Jim from heaven. Yeah, fuck you, man. Let's see. Must be, right? Someone attempted to get into the safe. I believe I figured out what the murderer was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. There is a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir?
Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelf files like you've never seen before, even at a library.
Sure. Let's give that a try.
Why do all the good ones always die young?
Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. Does the game have audio, by the way? Wait a minute, have you guys not been hearing the game the whole time? Or has the sound been too low? Here, let me raise the audio. It might have been. Guys, oh my god. Oh my god, there's been no audio the whole time? I think I'm gonna fucking jump. It was showing on my OBS. It was showing that the thing was... Oh my god, no, what? I'm gonna fucking jump. My fucking... The whole time... Guys, you know this game this game series has a bunch of, like, music and stuff. How have... Oh my god, if it was quiet, you guys should have told me earlier. Oh my god. 1 second. Okay, we're back. A dinosaur story. I apologize again. On my OBS, it was registering just fine. I don't know what happened. Before I proceed, you guys can hear the music now, right? Okay. This series is full of sound effects and music and cues, audio cues and such. If for any reason within the first 5 minutes it sounds quiet or otherwise silent or anything like that, please let me know so I can troubleshoot this. I feel incredibly embarrassed that that this happened. Everything was showing up perfectly fine and green on my OBS. I'm so sorry. My heartfelt apologies. On with the show. You got it! Here, let me help!
So this file goes here, and that book goes there.
You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done.
It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here.
Bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh.
I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf.
And then the guy fell onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kinda grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now.
You know I'm no good with blood, sir.
I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. There's nothing of interest here.
The victim's handprints.
He must have tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot. There are prints on the floor.
But there are prints on the floor, too.
Those must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor.
So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh?
But the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred.
I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way.
It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot.
Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it.
That would be the logical conclusion. The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf.
The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well.
In a sense, I suppose.
See, I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth.
Wait, now I wonder, did you have music during the reading stream? Yeah, that part was playing just fine. I still don't know what happened, but... Okay. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Eureka! There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole.
What do you mean, sir?
You don't see. Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up.
What if the guy was shot while he was sitting or laying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against this shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot.
That means... Wait, what does that mean, sir?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption, and it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? I believe the order of the files is a bit off.
You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the file are wrong, sir.
Oh?
Yeah, you see here are the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird.
Actually, the way they're organized now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha! So that's it! I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out.
You think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved?
They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected. The bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith. And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess.
And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess.
Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim.
But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice. Once before and once after the crime, but why? That's not a quick way to die. No, it's not. Now, the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. There must be some reason as to why the victim's body was moved, but there's no time to ponder that now. Let us continue with our investigation, Detective.
Roger that, sir. I'm raring to go.
As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. And
we figured out that the killer went through your bookshelf twice.
Indeed, there are many things the killer did that don't make sense, but to figure out the whys, we need more information.
These handprints belong to the victim, right? It makes sense with the body position.
Yes, he must have left them when he was trying to support himself after he was shot. However, the final position of the body shows that it was moved. I need to go over this crime scene with a fine-tooth comb one more time. This...
What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood?
I'd say that's some pretty incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, say something, sir.
It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation?
Is this what the killer was really after? Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me.
You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words. They're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it! I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude, and there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do?
What I always do in court, I'm going to cross-examine him. The defense usually does the cross-examining, Edgeworth. Usually that's my job, not yours. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique.
Ooh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir?
Might as well. Alright, first I listen to the witness testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organizer and present the piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply pull it out, but that's old news.
But it's not like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right?
Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness. Sometimes by pressing I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony.
Think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations too.
Very well, I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it'll be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest! Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic, and expose it with credible evidence. You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim's the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly?
Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name.
Well, Jacques and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. You renamed him for your ego? Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft.
Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth?
It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life's getting a little too rough to handle?
I'll have you know I eat 3 square meals every day, pal.
Ramen squares?
Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but...
Oh man. Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with, and what a motive, no? If we ever get renamed, I shall at least be named Petra. Ah, so you're keeping up with the Spider-Man stuff, I see. And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway. Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something.
Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal.
There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. I can't say I disagree with him on that point.
Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. I couldn't ask for a better setup. For the game-finishing spike! Aren't you saying that those letters were intended for you? Yep, Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner. It looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He's yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters. What are you sputtering over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound? Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. Let's see. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Now to clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence. Your detective is more stupid than mine, I just saw that. Let's see. But thanks to that you didn't notice the bloody letters? But it'd be impossible not to notice when the file he wanted to steal had the letters on them? Objection! Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Huh, bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. Ha ha ha! If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible! What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines. It's possible they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and the detective's name where the file should be as proof.
Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half an H.
If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files, especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood.
Which means... what exactly? What does that make this dying message?
It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene.
That's so low. I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time.
Well, Mr. Portsman? Brilliant! Absolutely splendid! Logic deserving of Olympic gold! I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Meh, you win some and you lose some. That's how life goes.
Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive.
But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however.
What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal.
That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? Well, I was thinking. Did you know that there's one other person with a key to this office? One other person? Hey, you there! Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? Can we kill her? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness.
Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't...
What's wrong with him all of a sudden?
No.
I believe she needs no introduction. I've called upon Miss Maggie Bird. a member of security.
Detective Gumshoe, sir.
Maggie.
Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point is that she could have very well used it, and by it, I mean, of course, the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building.
What?
If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird.
How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room.
That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right. I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Now they want to frame Maggie again? It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him. If Miles doesn't quash this theory fast, Maggie will be on the stand again, and he'll have to face him. Hold it! Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir.
Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated.
What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal.
But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir.
What do you mean by missing?
As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words.
I'm not lying, sir.
If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now.
I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
Huh. A likely story, and where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth.
But you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft, but I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. She only gets prepaid brick phones because they get stolen, huh? Oh man. I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. It's 5 a.m. I sleep now, sorry. No worries. Sleep well, Army. Thanks for stopping by, and if you do visit the VOD to continue this, hope you enjoy. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe... Hey, good thinking, asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make that face! See, there goes the truth, running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it. Oh, and Ray? Really, don't beat yourself up over scuff. Stuff happens. I know. Thank you. Take care, Army. I don't think you're catching my drift. But we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say that since she's the only one who could have opened your office door. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else? I'll have you know, I have never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than suggest that someone like you would. Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors.
Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir.
We're holding our collective breath, you know. For when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force.
Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course not. That's hogwash.
Whew. Don't scare me like that. Almost had a heart attack there.
Hold it! By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe? I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him, and just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence.
I would love to, but first we should listen a bit more and digest what he is saying, and press him for more information. Objection! Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses! Why? What made you...
What's with the angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault! What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret saves. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret saves.
Then that means...
Yeah, I know. I'd only just told him too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief? And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you, Miss Maggie Bird?
Excuse me?
I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job, but killing's going a bit too far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder?
Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it?
No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office.
Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key.
Ah,
Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out?
You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself.
But, sir...
We have no choice but to accommodate his request for now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman, we will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear? When I'm in a straw grasping competition and my opponent is Jacques Portsman. March 14th, 4:18 a.m. Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway.
What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable.
Please maintain your professionalism, detective.
I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir.
but we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
True. So then, what now?
Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch.
Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Really, sir?
For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key in that case. This hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case.
I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth.
I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her. Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
Well, that sounds like fun. Just once I'd have loved to play with them.
It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with them.
Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it you're an acquaintance of the detective?
It was under my supervision back when she was still in the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I've become a security guard.
That's a lot to go through in one lifetime.
I know! And just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wound up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? Proves that you're really a prosecutor.
Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe.
With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try that on? Just for a little bit.
I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you?
I guess not.
On second thought, they're actually on the same level.
I'm just a lowly security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to guard it.
It's like talking to another Gumshoe. So when did you discover that the master key was missing?
By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir, and I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times it was not just gone, but stolen, sir.
Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place?
It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window.
Always, you say, except for this time, correct?
I admit that was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge.
She used the master key. What did you mean by you used the master key?
Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right?
What is it?
That's right. I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir.
What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly.
It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir.
And that's when you loaned the master key to him.
No way. It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir.
I see.
And then, what happened after that?
Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think.
So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight.
Talk about suspicious.
I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent.
Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know.
You would sleep even out here, Detective, in a hallway.
Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand, but it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer, isn't that awful?
Maybe I should give it a try sometime, to envision myself winning, naturally. It's...
Isn't this that missing 0 series file, sir?
No doubt about it, the bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seem to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind.
So what are these 0 files about, sir? I guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh?
Not particularly, it's just a collection of court case files, however. The cases within these files are not mine.
Huh?
They belonged to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
That means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right?
It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing.
Wonder why anyone would care about such an old case.
I bet the thief's not under here. I guess there isn't enough space for anyone to hide under here anyway.
I mean, if someone could contort themselves to fit, I'd be really impressed.
Sounds to me like somebody's already tried at least once before. What is a basketball doing here?
It's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. What is a basketball hoop doing here?
Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago?
So when and why was it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently.
Drag it?
I heard it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it up himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor?
It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste.
Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open.
How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? Is everything alright?
Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning, and I'm finally at 154 pounds.
Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway in this room.
Oh, everything's okay, sir.
A word of advice, stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Room 1203, I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office?
Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir.
So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202?
I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd.
Yup, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why.
I can think of at least 3. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood.
Kinda majestic too. Fits in really well with the ambiance of a prosecutor's office. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these.
Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works.
Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne.
Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified?
It's Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop.
I can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office.
But you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here.
How long have I had the same office and yet you still manage to get lost? The door is locked tight.
I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is.
Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Do I have anything to connect here? Hold on a second. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story.
What? No way, pal. I mean, sir.
You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time.
Wow. Nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I'd totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
You pretended?
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir.
So in actuality, you never did re-lock the door then?
Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. The key? Come to think of it, I guess this door still hasn't been locked properly.
Then in that case, it's not locked tight, is it? Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight?
Huh? You know, you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't.
Which means what, sir?
It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
He opened a different door, but how can you prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is, we need to examine these. The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Hey you! Yeah you, pal. Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what'd you find out?
There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Faith's prints on the doorknob. So only two people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive.
Huh? I'm lost, sir.
Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose prints should be on this doorknob? Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent?
You mean...
Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman?
Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match.
Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis, it doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball.
That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective.
You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing.
I think we've reached the end of this conversation. Kind of implies that they have the forensics guys follow them around or in their pockets. Remember, this game is a lot more, what do you call it? People are much more on your side now that you're the prosecutor. Room 1203, I take it this is Mr. Portsman's office.
Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me, Mr. Ports.
Okay, so that... What's this?
What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game?
That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little... off.
Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk.
The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take note of this. What is this?
Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it.
It looks like a note from the victim. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy.
Yeah, it is for Mr. Portsman. Yes, sir?
Detective Gumshoe, you look rather intrigued by something. Care to share?
Oh, it's nothing, but I noticed that Mr. Portsman calls his partner Jim, and the detective in that Sunday night drama, All My Cops, is named Jim too. I bet one of them's a big fan of that show.
You seem to know a little something about it yourself. I take it you watch it too.
Of course, the tight bond of friendship between prosecutor and detective is great, sir. But it's nothing compared to the super strong friendship we have. Ha ha ha.
Friendship, Detective. I think you're mistaking it with pity.
How can you say that, sir? After all we've been through, too.
This OST is pretty. Yeah, it is. That's why I was a little disappointed. About Miss Bird.
No way she's the killer. Please don't tell me you buy into that accusation, sir.
Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding her security guard position.
Well, if you're only asking, that's okay. Just stand next to her and talk to her. Then you two can talk about whatever topic you pick. When you want to ask her about evidence, all you have to do is present it to her. After you choose what to show her, and off you two go. I recommend showing different people different things. You'd be surprised by what they say.
Thank you for the explanation, though I don't recall asking for one.
Oh, just so you know, you can show me evidence, too.
I do believe it's time to get down to business and ask some questions of Miss Bird.
Ignore it again.
I was wondering about the investigation.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let a real seasoned pro teach you how it's done.
A real seasoned pro? Of instant noodle cuisine, perhaps.
You know, you can always check out the really important spots in more detail, right?
Yes?
And if the area is too big, you can always take a look around. Oh, but don't worry, sir. It'll only show up when you need it.
I knew that as well.
And when you think there's a contradiction or something unusual, try a deduction. First, you look at the suspicious looking area, and then you choose your poison, evidence. When you've settled on a piece, you have to present it.
I'm pretty sure I already knew that as well, Detective.
Well, if you can remember all that, welcome to the world of pros. IW Ace Investigator. Class dismissed.
And all I wanted was an update about the investigation.
I had no idea you were these things. I thought I knew everything there is to know about you, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've caught a glimpse of the hidden side of Miles Edgeworth.
There's a great deal you don't know about me. At least I hope so.
Victim's gun, huh? It's the same motto as mine.
A tool used to protect lives, yet one that can also take lives away. Those who take a gun in hand wield a great responsibility. I hope you understand that.
I don't really use my gun at all, sir. The only time I would use this baby is when I'm fighting a hot duel with a convict to look ultra cool.
You were doing so well until that last bit. Let's see. Yes, arrest that door, Gumshoe.
Hey, I love basketball. I play all the time when I'm off duty.
Interesting.
You should see me dribbling, faking, and weaving like a pro with my trusty coat on, sir. They call me the Green Supernova.
He wears that tattered rag of a jacket even on his days off. Sorry, I'm just gonna exhaust every evidence that I can. Okay. But the new jacket? Well, he doesn't want to get it dirty. So of course he's not gonna wear the new jacket. He only wears it when he goes out on dates with her.
I've had to open Mr. Portman's office up for him a number of times before. I've also had the chance to see the inside of his office on a number of occasions too. He's got shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies, and awards in it, to the point where it's almost beyond gaudy, sir. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous since I don't have even a single one.
Don't say that, Maggie. I'll make a special Guard of the Month award just for you.
Thanks for trying, but I've already got a mountain of consolation prizes, sir. They're proof of just how unbelievably unlucky my life has been. Plus, getting an award from you just isn't the same as getting a real award, sir.
Okay. "1202. These four numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office."
Whoops. Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir.
They have to be able to take the plates off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... A minimalist, yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's steadily made, making it near impossible to break in by force.
It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door.
It doesn't stop being 1202, that's bizarre. Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, that's a poignant trait that anyone can admire.
I see. So you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone?
Right.
That long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir.
Maybe some new prosecutors changed the number plate for one with their names? Maybe. Is there anything else to investigate here? Then do I have any puzzles? No. Nothing yet. Is there anything else to look at? I already checked this area earlier, but never hurts to take another look. No, there's nothing here. Aha! I don't see any signs of forced entry.
But according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir.
Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob?
Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think.
Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. Oh shit. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely.
Huh? How so, sir?
In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth.
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman?
I knew it! That's exactly what my logic sensors were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. March 14th, 5:12 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, Room 1202. Mr. Portsman, I've finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Huh! Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this.
Oh!
Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe.
End of the line with you, Portsman.
Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? Oh. Everything okay? Chat, you guys? Oh, did something skip? Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know. Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything. Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we're not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on. With evidence. Hold it! My accusation is a harebrained idea, is it? You tell me. I'd say it is. After all... Hold it! Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. And that's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means? It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer. Hold it! Unfortunately, I believe I've already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? You claim to have had no way to open my door, however, is that really the honest truth? Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then, I propose that you used this to open my door. Take that! I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less. Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. Take that! You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kinda forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it?
What?
You've quite the imagination, but why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we?
I'm certain it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir.
See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Ha! And how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example.
That's right, they do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not in fact mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think it was his room?
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building, which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Gah!
That's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there, I thought the door was open and had to be Mr. Portsman's.
There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture's a little off the racetrack. Conjecture's rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird's as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears.
My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday.
Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. Hold it! Nonsense, you say? Yes, because I'm telling the truth here. Hold it! Using the master key, of course. Sure, you have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right? Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you. Hold it! And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish? Huh, mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance.
Oh, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have.
With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem. I was doing my usual workout, so... Hold it! I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually. But none of those would stand up on their own! Then what about all the evidence? It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence. He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony. If you were in your room the whole time, then how come you didn't notice this? Take objection! That was a lie. What are you talking about? How is that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then where were you and what were you doing? Ah! Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you. Oh yeah, here's this game's corner theme, by the way. That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. It's gotta be this. Take that! I had your door dusted for prints. My door? Huh, what for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Ugh! Further, all of the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me, and Detective Faith found you out, possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
Just what's so funny, pal?
Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What?
Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer! Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already!
And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there.
You made that up just now, didn't you?
Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like, early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse.
Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size.
Ah, but you can't prove that, can you?
Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I told you sooner. Portsman's alibi. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit, but at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe?
Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m.
You see? All of the evidence points to him being the culprit, so there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Hold it! You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. Hold it! It is as you say, however. Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So, tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me that you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Ah, well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. Hold it! So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit. Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building. I headed straight for the precinct. Hold it! Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time.
See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Ugh! Impossible! He actually does have the perfect alibi! What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face?
Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of the line, and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there.
Sir.
Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle.
Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time and with logic. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. Which means a second person. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Of course. That's why the 2 rearrangements. It was ransacked by 2 different people. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder. So it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back. Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great! So you finally come to your senses.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Sir, what do you say?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But, sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean, 2?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
Why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And you must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came
in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance, and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that.
Well, if things were as simple as that, then it all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another?
Visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelves getting messed up twice at the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all.
But, you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
Oh, I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory's correct. Portsman's Alibi, Part 2. That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there, looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course! Now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Hold it! Actually, no, I wouldn't. Why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files, and it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them.
You mean the zero files, right?
And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe... Hold it! Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all. Hold it! But according to Mr. Faith's note... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered... I don't have any, no. You see? So I insist again that I was in my office the entire time. Hold it! Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway, he likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. He brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case. Hold it! A gun and a pendant. Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. And why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to, but all that has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to your satisfaction. This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. Hold it! I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deduction. Oh, then let's see you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave, then stole the master key, for the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course, and that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I laid out earlier. I know he's lying, I know he was here at the scene of the crime, I just have to find a way to prove it. Two items. 3 pieces. Objection! Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read, carefully.
Oh, it says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. I can't believe to get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe!
Don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe.
Don't come any closer! I'm warning you!
This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me.
No!
Hey, what's this? You got this on him, sir.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
But why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber, because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail, for the section of the tape that would drive the last nail into his coffin. The KG-8 incident.
That's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case?
Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over.
That's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood?
No, 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 no! You've got it all wrong! No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. Yeah. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video?
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that! Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. Yeah! If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible! March 14th, 5:47 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, Room 1202.
Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please, accept my apologies.
Oh, it was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Ooh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh? Well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? That Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. Pretty sure it's this.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card.
What is it? What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, Detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about.
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card, although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So, the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Now, the funny thing about Yatagarasu is that its name means eight-legged span crow, and it's really freaking big, but people always talk about the 3 feet instead. Huh. Okay. Well, that was the end of Turnabout Visitor, the first case of Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney Investigations. The tutorial is officially over, so starting next time, we will be doing Turnabout Airlines, a more proper length case, as per our usual rules for Ace Attorney. So, yeah, get ready for that. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, as you can tell, this game plays a lot differently to the original trilogy. Again, this game was natively on the DS, so we're gonna have a lot more thorough interactions to have, as you saw. We'll be running around looking at things and talking to people a lot more. Plus, we still retain some of the courtroom mechanics, though it's not in a courtroom setting this time, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. But thank you all so much for watching and listening and having fun, despite the occurrences. Thanks for bearing with me with the unexplainable scuff with the game's volume, but I'm glad that you guys still seem to have fun despite all that. Yeah. That's gonna do it for me this week. When we come back next week, I think I have another Sherlock short story that I want to do. And of course, we'll start this case, and we'll see what else happens from there. But yeah, so until next time, please make sure to eat well, stay hydrated, and get lots of good rest. Be kind to yourselves and be excellent to each other, and have a radiant rest of your week. Can't wait to see you guys again next time. But of course, as always, remember to unshrimp yourselves. Thank you so much for listening, my wonderful reigning excellent Lancers. And if you're new here, please make sure to like this video and subscribe. I do, I've been doing the Ace Attorney series for 8 months now, and I don't intend on stopping until it's all over. And also, you're about to catch me at a very spooky time in my life. So, if you guys are interested in Halloween themed streams, I will be starting that very soon. So yeah. That's gonna be all for now for me. So, thank you all so much. Until next time, I'm Ray Langley, virtual entertainer and wolf girl extraordinaire, and I will see you next time. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.